That revenue challenge inside your organization is likely a culture challenge in disguise, and culture starts with leadership. Okay, that's pretty simple to say out loud. And some people might call me on the BS there because it's all really fluffy. It's, of course, culture creates challenges inside your organization. Actually, what I want you to think about here is, how does your culture think about, or what is your culture when it comes to revenue inside your organization? How do your people, how does your team think about customers, both internal and external? How do you and your team think about how you generate revenue inside your organization? What is their relationship to revenue inside the organization? What's the work that they do that drives revenue inside the organization? Can they connect the dots between the things that they do on a daily basis and the impact that it has on revenue inside your business? If not, you've got a challenge inside your organization. You've got a significant alignment challenge inside your organization, and it's going to compound and get bigger and bigger as you scale, as you grow. All right, so there's some questions that we can ask around how we do what we do in the context of revenue inside our organizations, which will help us understand what is our culture. And that's how I look at culture. Culture is how we do what we do. How we do what we do. How do we make decisions? How do we solve problems? How do we execute? How do we deliver solutions? How do we communicate? How do we work with each other? That's the culture inside the organization. It's not ping pong tables and lunches and all that other kind of stuff. Like, that's the surface level stuff where it can reinforce some connections. But the culture, for me, is how we do what we do. And I like to think about it in these 4 areas: problem solving, decision making, goal setting and execution, so achieving results, and communication. Well, if you believe what I believe, and you agree with that statement that culture starts with leadership, how are our leaders inside our organization helping to enable and empower our teams to think critically, problem solve, make decisions, decision making, communicate effectively, both in the way that they reinforce communication and the way that they lead meetings and engage with teams, and in the way that they respond when information is communicated back to them. So that leadership challenge, that revenue challenge, money, is actually a culture challenge in disguise. And culture starts with leadership. So let's go to the whiteboard and let's work on how do we improve leadership. So leadership, from my perspective, the way that I like to define it, is how we move forward. How we move forward. How we move forward in the context of self, how we move forward in the context of working with others, and how we move forward in the context of teams. You've heard me say this before. If you're looking for leadership, start with a mirror. Look at that reflection. Look in there and say, how am I leading self? What's my process? Am I actually aligned with the things that I say? Am I doing the things that I said I'm going to do? Do I have integrity? Do my actions align with my beliefs? Do my actions align with what our ultimate goals and objectives are? So let's start with that leadership alignment piece. And one of the biggest challenges I think happens out there with leaders, and actually it's not even a think, we get so excited about the new thing, the new place that we're going. And what ends up happening, and think about leadership, let's say I'm at the helm of a boat, okay? Or you're at the helm of a boat. And you've got the spotlight showing where we're going in these waters that are in front of us. The spotlight is pointed forward. And actually, I guess this will look a little bit better if I change the direction of this thing. But let's say that spotlight is going forward. So another version of the boat kind of looks like this, and the spotlight is going forward, okay? So we've got the top view of the boat, and we've got the side view of the boat. we look at the direction we'll see if when I'm leading revenue teams, I think of two key metrics. Pipeline created, pipeline developed. Pipeline created, pipeline developed. If we're not creating pipeline, if we're not adding more to the top, we're not going to see it develop through. And if we're not developing the things that we've added to the top, we're not actually going to keep the business running. So pipeline created, pipeline developed. Those are the two key metrics that we'll focus on. So when I'm working with the team, if the thing that we're working on is not specifically related to pipeline created or pipeline developed, then I have to ask the question, why are we doing it? Why are you spending time in that area? How have you decided that that's an important thing to focus on? Okay, so let's pull this together. As a leader, if I go into an organization and I say that our focus is on pipeline created, pipeline developed, and that is where we're pointed the lens. And then all of a sudden, I tell everybody in the group that I need you to go through and do something completely different. So now I change our direction and we're going over here. And that direction might be, we're going to focus on a new market. Or that direction might be, we're going to focus on delivering a new product. Or that direction might be, we're going to focus on changing our customer experience, or whatever the thing is. If I start focusing our attention over here, it's going to take a little bit of time for the rest of the team to get aligned. What's worse, and I see this happen all the time with leaders, is we go through and we say, oh, there's another shiny thing over here. So now we're pointed in this direction. Well, how long does it take for the team to catch up between here and now here? And before you know it, you've got your organization going in 8 different directions. So as a leader inside your business, I would suggest that you gain a high amount of clarity with yourself around what your goals and objectives are. You communicate that and validate it with the team and make sure that your goals and objectives are aligned with the goals and objectives of the team, and then have your teams communicate with members of their teams and make sure that those goals and objectives are directly aligned with each other. If at any point in time you have a team of people that are confused because you as the leader are going one way and then you're going this way and you're switching back and forth and you're alternating between products and services, and happy to have a conversation with you around how I work with organizations to help work through this, gain a high level of clarity around what is our specific goal, what's our objective, what's our strategy, how are we going to attack that goal, what's the work that we're going to do that aligns with that strategy, how are we going to test to make sure that the work works, that helps us move toward things, and then what's our process going to be to eliminate the things that are unnecessary so that we can simplify our approach and accelerate speed to impact, and not get ourselves in a situation where we're just going fast from one direction to another. Hope you found that helpful. If you have questions, please contact me directly via direct message, or you can go to findmycatalyst.com to see how I work with both individuals, leaders inside organizations, teams inside organizations, and teams of teams within inside organizations.